What do you do when you receive a wrong number text? Like most of us, you probably send a simple "sorry, wrong number" back and forget about it. Well, Tony Wood is not like the rest of us. He decided to try something a little different after getting a random text message from a complete stranger. Instead of ignoring the text or sending a quick, polite reply, Wood thought of a funny response to send back to the mystery texter. He even enlisted the help of his family. After all, what did he have to lose? Little did Wood know that the strange message would end up saving his child's life. In 2018, Tony Wood, shown here, was enjoying a quiet night at home with his children when he received a text from a number he didn't recognize. However, as a busy realtor in Tennessee, he felt quite accustomed to calls from strangers. After all, it was part of a daily work. As he opened the phone to read the message, Wood figured it came from an eager buyer who simply couldn't wait until morning. But as soon as he started reading the message, Wood realized that he'd received a wrong number text. Furthermore, without knowing it, this father had started a chain of events that eventually ended up saving his son's life. The wrong number text turned out to come from a young girl, one seeking advice. Accidentally, she'd sent Wood 2 photos of herself wearing an elegant floor-length gown. Furthermore, in the text, the young woman asked how the dress looked on her. While it must have been intended for a close friend or family, Wood was neither of those. Wood figured that the young woman must have been preparing for a glitzy event, something like a prom or wedding. Clearly, she wanted approval from a family member or friend, which the father of 6 couldn't provide. So instead, Wood decided to have a little fun with the young lady who had texted him. To make this mystery sender's day, Wood came up with a wonderful idea. First, Wood herded his kids into the room to get their opinions on the dress. As fate would have it, the kids unanimously and enthusiastically thought it looked great on the young woman. Next, Wood asked all his kids to squeeze in tight for a picture. There, they all gave the young lady a thumbs up on the beautiful dress. After snapping the picture, Wood sent it to the mysterious woman. At the time, Wood and his children simply felt excited to see her reaction. They had no idea that they had started on a journey that would change all their lives forever. While he enjoyed taking the picture, Wood didn't really expect the mystery sender to reply to his message. But that was okay, he just wanted to make the stranger smile. That's why Wood decided to send along a picture of his children instead of a bland "sorry, wrong number" response. On the other hand, his children felt eager to hear back from the woman. Unfortunately, while Wood and the kids waited for hours, they never received a message back. Eventually, the family moved on with their normal lives and forgot all about the mystery woman. Then, a few weeks later, Tony Wood saw something online that made him do a double take. Several weeks passed by after Wood received the wrong number text. Since the woman never replied, Wood figured that he and his children would never hear back from her. However, that wasn't the case. As any realtor can tell you, marketing and social media are essential in getting your realty business seen. As such, Wood was an avid Twitter and Facebook user. One day, while scrolling through Twitter, he saw the same photo of the children he'd sent the wrong number text her weeks ago. It came from a woman named Mandy Miller, shown here, who had also included the images of the dress and pictures of the text. At that point, Wood must have been wondering what was going on. Thankfully, Miller also included a Twitter caption that helped explain the mystery to Tony Wood. As it turns out, the mystery woman who had texted Wood was Miller's friend Sid, who felt too embarrassed to reply. All of a sudden, everything started to make sense to the father of 6. However, these surprises didn't end there. Miller had pinned the tweet to her page as it had garnered upward of 170,000 retweets. Not only that, but it also received 680,000 likes and over 500 comments. "Oh, this is so cool. The kids are Twitter famous," Wood said. While he and the kids never received a reply from Sid, Wood felt this was just as good. So the father of 6 decided to reach out again, this time to Miller. While Tony Wood didn't know either Miller or Sid, he thought it seemed appropriate to say hello. So Wood tweeted a response to Miller, introducing himself as the children's father. He also let her know about the hysterical way he'd simply stumbled across the viral tweet. Even if their story had ended there, Wood, Miller, and Sid's story would be a sweet one for the ages. After all, how often do people reply to random messages and have a pleasant exchange, let alone become a viral sensation because of it? Not often. However, he had no idea at the moment that a simple hi would have bigger implications. In his message to Mandy Miller, Wood also decided to reveal something about his family, something his closest friends didn't even know. What nobody knew about the thumbs-up picture of Wood's children was that 2 family members are missing from the photo: his 6-year-old son, Keisler, and his wife, Rachel. That's because both of them were at the hospital when Wood received the wrong number text from Sid. Meanwhile, Wood was taking care of the rest of the kids at home. This is why Wood decided to try and make this mystery texter smile. He figured that even in his darkest moments, he could still try and bring a little positivity into the world. Of course, Miller wanted to know more about why little Keisler was in the hospital. In 2015, little Keisler Wood began acting lethargic and suffered from a fever that simply wouldn't go away. At first, Wood and his wife believed Keisler had the flu. Nothing much to worry about. However, over the next few weeks, his symptoms became worse and worse. Eventually, they brought Keisler to a pediatrician at the hospital to find out what was wrong. Unfortunately, the doctor at the hospital examined Keisler thoroughly, but couldn't determine the cause of the symptoms. Things became even worse when they received the hospital's test results. Little Keisler tested negative for both the flu and an ear infection. They were back to square one. Determined to figure out what illness plagued Keisler, the doctor next ordered a full blood work done on him. Meanwhile, Wood and Rachel were desperate to find out what was wrong with Keisler. Not knowing seemed worse than any illness. Even worse, just a few weeks ago, before the sickness struck, Keisler was such a happy child. Now they were lucky if they could get him out of bed. To Tony Wood and his wife, it was clear that something was happening to their little boy. Soon enough, the blood work came back. What the doctor would reveal to them would change the Wood family forever. One day, not long after Wood and Rachel received a phone call, surprisingly, it was the hospital calling to let them know that Keisler needed to return as soon as possible. You see, his doctor thought that Keisler could be anemic, have a terrible infection, or possibly even worse. They told us that he either had a severe viral infection or he had leukemia, Tony said. We'd never prayed so hard for a severe viral infection in our lives. The Woods felt utterly devastated and terrified. Even worse, the call came in just days before Christmas, a time of joy and family celebration. So worried sick, the Woods began praying for a Christmas miracle. On the day before Christmas Eve, Tony Wood and his wife Rachel sat in their son Keisler's doctor's office. There, she finally gave them the diagnosis of their son. Unfortunately, the doctor told them something that no parent would ever want to hear. It wasn't a virus. Horribly, she informed the family, Keisler did indeed have leukemia. Many parents would feel utterly obliterated by this news. However, while Wood and his family felt devastated, they didn't waste any time feeling sorry for themselves. They were ready to battle this illness with their son. Immediately, Wood and Rachel did what any other parent would do in their situation, started praying and never gave up hope. They felt confident that Keisler would conquer the disease with the proper treatment. While Wood and his family felt upset to learn about Keisler's leukemia, the Woods had faith that, in the end, everything would turn out for the best. After all, Keisler had never been sick one day in his life before all this happened. So, with nothing left to do, they decided to leave everything in God's hands. Through it all, though, we know God is with us, Wood said. He's shown himself to us on several occasions, and we trust that he'll pull us through. Little did Wood know that his prayers would soon be answered. However, it didn't happen in a way that he expected. Shortly after Tony Wood and his wife Rachel found out about their son's situation, they decided to set up a Facebook page called Prayers for Keisler. As incredibly spiritual people, the Woods hoped that prayers from kind people who came across the Facebook page might help Keisler's situation. However, these kinds of pages sometimes elicit more than just prayers. While the primary purpose of the page was to create awareness, they ended up receiving much more. It all started when one day, another stranger joined the page and took the family initiative to a whole new level. However, unbeknownst to them, the stranger already knew the Wood family. After the Prayers for Keisler Facebook group came to fruition and started gaining attention, Wood also shared the link to the group on his Twitter account. Over the next day, plenty of people on Twitter told them they'd join the group with their Facebook profiles. One of the people that reached out to Wood on Twitter was a mysterious stranger, user Illuminati. Strangely, the Twitter user had a faceless profile and had little to no details on their personal life. As the Woods had no idea who Illuminati was, they didn't think much about the newest member of the Pray for Keisler group. Little did Wood know that this stranger would end up helping them in the most fantastic way possible. On their Twitter account, Illuminati decided that they would try and help the Woods in the only way they knew how. The day after they contacted Tony Wood, the mysterious stranger tweeted out a link to a GoFundMe the family set up to cover Keisler's medical expenses. While Wood and Rachel had no idea who this person was, they believed that he or she had good intentions. Plus, at that moment, Wood and Rachel felt ready to do whatever it took to help get their son better. However, shortly after tweeting the link to Keisler's GoFundMe, Illuminati user made a bizarre request to the Wood family, one that revealed how this Twitter user knew the Wood family. After tweeting out the link to Keisler's GoFundMe, Illuminati asked for something very particular: a photo of little Keisler with his thumbs up. As it turns out, the mystery Twitter user had remembered the viral photo of Wood's children signaling a thumbs up from weeks before. So I thanked him for his consideration and posted a picture of Keisler giving a thumbs up, Wood said. Of course, Illuminati was not the only one who remembered the viral tweet from Mandy Miller. However, they seemed to be the only ones who put two and two together. That is, until Wood shared the picture he sent to Illuminati in a post. Soon enough, others wanted a picture of Keisler giving them a thumbs up. From there, things really started to pick up. Shortly after Tony Wood shared his first photo of Keisler giving a thumbs up went online, the family once again started becoming a viral sensation. The first time around, the Wood family had not cared much about their viral fame. We told the kids they were Twitter famous, and while they thought that was cool, we didn't get a big response, mostly because they don't exactly know what Twitter is, Wood said. However, this time around, the stakes were higher. You see, the Woods hoped that a widespread circulation of Keisler's new photo would translate into more donations on his GoFundMe. But that's precisely what happened next. What really shocked us was the growth of our GoFundMe account, Wood recalled. After Tony Wood shared the photo of Keisler giving a thumbs up, everything started to blow up. His Twitter account, the Facebook group, the GoFundMe, everything. In fact, they earned quite a bit of money in just a few hours. I remember tweeting about how the GoFundMe had received an extra $1,000. We were so excited. That $1,000 was going to be a big deal for us in our current situation, Wood said. It seemed as though the mysterious Illuminati had acted as a PR person for Wood family by requesting the photo. Whether they had intended to or not, this mysterious stranger had helped them out tremendously. And to think, it all started when Illuminati saw the post about the wrong number text. However, believe it or not, the best was still yet to come. The day after sharing the photo of Keisler Illuminati had requested, the Woods felt overwhelmed with what had happened. In just 24 hours, the good people of the internet had more than doubled the amount of money in Keisler's GoFundMe. Believe it or not, the family raised a whopping $10,000 overnight thanks to Illuminati's request. As you can imagine, treatments for leukemia are incredibly expensive, so it was such a blessing for Wood and his family to receive help from such kind-hearted souls. Now they could worry less about money and spend more time focusing on their son's health. Social media users often earn a poor reputation, accused of resembling an unaccountable group of locker room trash talkers. In fact, Twitter is often said to be the worst of the major social sites. However, when the people of the World Wide Web occasionally choose to come together for a good cause, they do so in style. Eventually, Keisler Wood's GoFundMe donations earned over $60,000 in donations. That incredible amount of money, especially since the family initially only asked for $10,000. Furthermore, in addition to the contributions, kind messages from all around the world poured in to support Keisler and the Wood family. Many even said that they had arrived at the page thanks to the original viral post about the wrong number text. Soon enough, the mainstream media had picked up the story. After the incredible outpouring of support from online donors, media outlets across the world wanted to tell the story of the Wood family. I can't even begin to tell you what this means to us, what this means for us, Tony Wood told one publication. Of course, more media attention meant more donations for a family that needed all the help they could get. We have an amazing support of friends and family. The prayers have been non-stop. People have given their time and energy to help us in whatever way they can," he continued. "I am humbled by the generosity and outpouring of love we've received by the people we know and the people we've never met." As mentioned before, Tony Wood worked as a real estate agent before this incredible string of events began. However, since then, Wood has decided to leave his profession as a real estate agent and go back to what he described on Twitter as a multiple job life. Between helping his wife raise 6 children and helping Keisler navigate through his illness, Wood simply found it too challenging to manage his own real estate business. However, Wood hasn't changed his Twitter bio to reflect his departure from the real estate industry, so it's safe to assume that he's not done just yet. Maybe when things calm down a bit, he'll work for himself again one day. Tony Wood never expected he'd become famous twice in his life. The first time, he simply made a stranger's day after an understandable wrong number text. Then he and his son became the target of a goodwill initiative from hundreds of strangers. Since then, Wood has reflected on his initial decision to respond to Sid's wrong number text. Society puts a lot of pressure on these young women to have a certain look and a certain body build, he told Daily Mail Australia. "We try to teach our children to be themselves and not worry about what others think. Even with that, my young daughters already express a desire to fit in, and I figured this young lady might need that reassurance." While Wood has revealed a lot about this incredible story, many still have one question: just who exactly was Illuminati? Over time, the Wood family did discover further details about Illuminati, the mysterious Twitter user who requested the photo of Keisler. During an interview, Tony Wood said that the stranger is a kind man from India, but refused to provide any more details. And there might be a good reason why Wood didn't give us more information. It seems that this generous stranger wants to keep a low profile. After his username became famous as part of the Wood story, he changed his username to _hedge. While it remains unclear exactly why this man did help the Wood family, his Twitter bio shed some light on his intentions. "Stop hating, start loving," it reads. Back in March 2019, Wood updated the GoFundMe page with the most incredible update. Just a few more clinics and Keisler gets to take his last dose of chemo, God willing that there isn't a relapse. However, that will be the last treatment, fingers crossed. In a different world, the Wood family very likely would have needed to take on massive debt to pay for Keisler's medical bills. But now, thanks to a wrong number text, they don't have to worry about it. Even better, it seems that the chemo treatments actually worked for little Keisler. The pictures since his last treatment show a smiling boy ready to take on the world. The kind people behind the donations played an essential role in Keisler's recovery.